Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Boozy Botanical Podcast. My name is Holly.
And I'm Angelique.
And we are back with another Boozy Tuesday.
Yes. Hello, guys. It's so nice to be back with you all.
It is a happy Boozy Tuesday to our Boozy babies.
Yay.
How are you doing, Angelique?
I'm well. I got a drink in hand on a Sunday morning it's Tuesday for you guys. It's Sunday for me.
That's right. Yes.
Yes, I did. I'm going back to the roots, as in last episode. And I'm having another Tito's sort of mimosa. I guess there's no champagne, but it's just Tito's and juice and orange juice.
Yeah, it's so cute.
It hits in the morning. It's pretty good. But yes, things are good. How are you and what are you drinking?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm a little tired, but I am still drinking. I'm here to party.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I'm here, guys. I'm here. I promise.
Don't worry. I was like, I'm doing liquid IV. I'm like, I'll do it on the next episode.
If anything, yes.
Yes.
I know how you feel. I have one waiting for me as well.
There you go. So what I am drinking, though, is I don't really know what you'd call it exactly. It's not so much a seltzer, but basically what it is, it's from Jack Daniel's, the brand, and it's Southern Peach Country Cocktails. And it's really good, I must say. It kind of tastes like a lemonade. Yeah, like I really don't even taste the Jack Daniel's in it, but it's pretty good.
It's like a cool, it's not a wine cooler, but it has like that sort of vibe, it sounds
like. Yeah, like it's almost, it reminds me a lot of the Truly Lemonade, except it doesn't have that seltzer sort of taste, if you know what I'm saying. So
yes, because it's not that bubbliness.
Yeah, there really is no bubbliness, even though it's in a can. So
yeah. That's awesome. Oh, good. Well, Holly, it's been a minute. What's up with your week? How's life been?
It's been good. We actually just came back into town yesterday. We were over on kind of just north of Tampa. It was for the Family Channel. So we were just like on a little fishing trip, and the really cool, exciting thing. Well, it was really fun. So we were on an airboat. And that's pretty fun because I'd never been on an airboat. It's like if you think about when people go to the Everglades and they go on those boats with the huge fans, that's what that is.
Yeah.
And so that was a lot of fun. And then on our way back to our side of the state, we stopped off at this little town called Mount Dora, and I never heard of it, but there was a plant festival going on. It was
cool.
It was like a farmer's market for plants, and I don't know what I was really expecting, but it was much bigger than I thought. Yeah. And dude, they were coming in hot with some plants, let me tell you, and really good prices too. They had like 2 or 3 like booths with like collector plants, so like your Jose Blonos, Pink Princess, all of those. And I got a plant and I brought it for show and tell.
Oh my god, let me see it.
So there's kind of a little backstory, sort of, but here it is. It has some.
Oh my god, beautiful.
It has some hard water stains. That's what you're seeing if you're watching on YouTube. Now, it's funny. It was a really great price, but it's so pretty. Like it really does look more interesting, and I really wanted to know what it is. And it just says 6-inch fuzzy petiole. So I asked.
You're like, great, thank you. So
I asked the person. I was like, so what is this plant called? And he's like, oh, that's a philodendron fuzzy petiole. And oh my gosh, I probably sounded like such a snob. I go, does it have a botanical name? Like I just really wanted to know.
Just look up fuzzy petiole, I assume.
No, I'm like, that doesn't help me, bro. But like, he was like, no, I'm sorry. He's like, that's what our grower called it. And I'm like, oh, it's probably a hybrid of some kind, right? And he's like, yeah.
What's like, a hybrid?
Do you want it or not? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. It's big. Is it a 6-inch, you said?
It is in a 6-inch pot. And yeah, like the name, it does have a fuzzy petiole. Kind of like not super fuzzy like the Squamiferum, but a little bit more so like the Florida Beauty or an El Chaco philodendron. So and it's heart-shaped with like little ruffles. So I really like it.
Have you plugged it into like any of those plant identifying apps or anything? Or have you asked any plant groups on Facebook?
No, I just picked it up last night.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, when we
Hasn't been
came
time yet.
yeah, and I don't really use those apps. Like, I don't know,
I
I
don't
just
use them. Josh has one, so whenever I'm like, "I can't figure out what this is," he looks it up.
Yes.
But,
I
if
think they're
anything, I
pretty
just ask
accurate.
plant groups.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah,
we'll
yeah.
see. It's just hard, when it comes from like a grower's collection that they just kind of randomly had. I think it's just a little hard to really know like what it is, but
Exactly. Do you think it's in the philodendron family, though?
it definitely is. Yes.
Okay.
So,
Got
and
it.
it is kind of velvety. Like the leaves are velvety. So
It reminds me of like a darker mame almost and big.
yes, it really
Which I guess there's
reminds me.
ridges, but
Yes. So I'll show you again. It has
and
like
we should post this
little
we'll post this on our Instagram. I know people wanna see.
yeah, it
Yeah.
almost kinda looks like a McDowell or, like a,
Yeah,
Pastazanum, but
definitely. I see
it's
that.
not super, super velvet, but it definitely is, you know what I'm saying?
Right, for sure. You can definitely
Right.
see the, like, smoothness of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has
Oh
a
my god,
new
look at that. Can you show us
leaf.
that newest leaf? Oh,
I
that's
know.
beautiful. You got a very good one.
I think so. It's funny too because I was looking around at a few different vendors and one person, they had one and it was slightly bigger with a moss pole and it was 75 bucks. So I was like, let me just keep
Ooh.
looking. And lo and behold, another vendor where I ended up picking this up had it and it was 40. I'm like, okay,
Oh,
having a moss
wow.
pole doesn't justify 40 between that and 75. You know what I mean?
It was the same size?
Yeah. I mean,
That's
well, like I said,
ridiculous.
slightly bigger, but I'm like, no, I'm gonna go with this one,
Yeah,
the
not
$40 one.
considerably bigger, right.
So,
Wow, that's crazy.
yeah, so that was like, I would say a very
Man,
successful little
yeah.
weekend, and
Oh,
yeah,
an
so
unexpected weekend too.
exactly.
That's awesome.
And by the way,
I
Mount Dora is very cool. Like, it reminds me of Flagstaff, and it has all these little shops, but it's right by the water. So, anyways, how are you, my love?
really cool. I am well also. I've been having a crazy few weeks. I think I mentioned it on the last episode, but you guys, I never know anymore. So you let me know if I'm right or wrong. But I think I talked about having an upcoming shoot with Matt, one of
Yes.
our first guests. So that is upon us. You're listening to this on Tuesday, so I'm in prep mode
Woo.
today. Prepped yesterday, prepped today, as long as the world does what I expect it to do in 2 days. We're prepping tomorrow on Wednesday, and then our first shoot is Thursday. We're doing 3 short films. I'm a little more off the hook because I'm not in one of them. One's a boy-boy scene.
Nice.
So we're doing the male scene on Thursday, so I'll be there as a PA, as, like,
Cool.
continuity and everything because we don't really have much of a crew. We have a DP, we have Isaac running sound, and then we have, the film is at Matt's house, so
Oh,
we
nice.
have, his roommate, which is his cousin, helping as a PA, and his girlfriend might be there, so we're gonna have, like, hands, but
That's
yeah,
awesome.
it's a very tiny shoot, but doable, and then, on Friday is when I perform for the first time with a script that I wrote. Same sort of
Yay.
group. Yeah, and then, on Saturday, we're gonna shoot here, and it's gonna be crazy. I'm
Oh my
hoping
gosh. I'm
hoping
gonna be
Josh
thinking
doesn't
about
get
you.
away. No, he's been warned that we're utilizing the space. We have to look like we're just moving in. So,
Oh, so you have
I
to
have
clear
to
some stuff out maybe?
yeah, I have to I can just, like thankfully, I don't have anything up on our walls yet. I never got that shelf completed that I wanted to, the ladder shelf.
That's
Still in
right.
my mind.
Yes.
My cousin's husband bought all the wood, he just hasn't made it. So I have to
Wow.
decide if I'm firing him or not. So, like, free, that's the problem, but they kinda want a Roomba, and we don't use ours, and I was like, "We should trade, but get your side of the deal done first."
Yes. I'm gonna hang on to this Roomba till I get my shelf.
The Roomba was like 200 something dollars. I think that's, like, fair for that
Oh,
shelf.
yes.
Probably on the cheap end for, like, manual labor, but as a
Family.
hobby yeah, so I'm gonna try to work some magic, we'll see, but thankfully, my walls are bare, so I don't have to worry about taking down stuff, and, like, the shelf that I do have up, it won't be in frame ever.
Perfect.
In theory. And if it is, I'm just gonna take off the decorations as if that got mounted already.
Right.
So,
The house.
yeah, it'll honestly take me 5 minutes to clear off decorations. I just have the TV stand with like photos on it and books and things. So it's not that hard. And my sofa comes apart, as you guys know. So
That's
we're
right.
utilizing that to our advantage of like we're gonna have pieces of the sofa coming in and then have it kind of scattered. And I have, including like the boozy box, I have like clear storage bins and stuff. So
Yeah.
that's being brought in as if we just moved in with those.
How
And then
cool.
yeah, and then we also have some random boxes we've been saving from the Buy Nothing group that we've been asking for. So it's gonna look good. I think it's just like my Monstera is big, of course, but we're just doing our best to not have it in frame. And if we do, we just make it look like it hasn't been placed yet.
Right. There you go.
Like it just came in. We wrote in the fiddle fig because it's still in like a nursery pot and stuff. So
There
it's
you
like
go.
you see us bringing it in, that whole thing.
Oh my God. Cute.
So, yeah, I'm excited for that shoot because it's the only comedy we're doing because we wrote 4 films, but we don't have time to do one of them. So we scrapped one of the comedies. And so it's gonna be like heavy drama, and then we get to end the week. Hopefully, pending it all goes well with a funny story. So I'm
Nice.
yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be good. But yeah, so I've been doing that, guys.
Oh.
As you guys know, I've been going through a lot of like work transitions, like being an actor, nothing's stable in your life. And I wrapped up work with like that really cute little baby I told you about.
Yeah. With the cool parents.
Yeah, she went to daycare and I miss her. I love her so much. Like, I'm not a career nanny. Oh my God, I got choked up even thinking about it. Like I'm not a career nanny. So like I feel like career nannies, of course, they probably get attached to their kids, and career nannies sometimes like their hope is to find a baby and you work with them for 5+ years. Like
Wow.
really
Yeah.
grow with the kids. Since I've always been a freelance nanny, I hop around family to family. I have my favorites, but I can move on accordingly if I need to. Like
For
I can
sure.
sounds so bad, but I can like disassociate if I need to. But like there were kids that I loved that I worked with in 2019, and then I think maybe a pinch. No, it was all 2019. But and I loved them, but then that sort of just ended and I haven't been like depressed over it or anything. But
Yeah.
in 2021, I definitely have kids that like have my heart for sure. And like my
Yeah.
kid that you met that I worked with for 14 months, I'm friends with her mom. I still see her. So that
That's
feels
cool.
good. This little baby I just wrapped with, I think me and her parents are gonna stay friends. Maybe not close because like we're in different paths, but
Yeah.
I love them. They're really cool. Like I send them like jokes and things and like we're on the same page.
Aw. And
So
then you have a cute cat, right? Because I know you talk about
that's my little boy. But yes, I'm obsessed
okay.
with that cat. He's another one of my angels. She's the one whose parents supplied me with my
Yeah,
outfit
I
for
remember.
yes, they're really cool people. And I was so excited because my time ended a week ago and then I was hired to work on Veterans Day because the daycare was closed. But she came down with a cold, so I couldn't see her.
Oh, man.
I'm so excited, but it's okay. It's like I get happy like for the children, they grow, they need to have daycare. They need like she needs to
They
see
move
around
on,
kids.
and yes, being around kids is important.
I had a dark thought though about being a nanny recently.
God.
God, I made it sound worse than it is, but it's like a sadness. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, like I'm truly giving my heart to these children and I love them and I work so hard to like make them and their families happy. And like the darkest irony is that if me and the parents don't keep a friendship, they're never gonna remember me. And I
Oh,
had that moment of like, damn,
that
that's
might
really heavy.
be depending on their age, they might remember you.
Just one.
Oh,
So let's be
yeah.
real.
I know. Dude, I had
That's
a
a weird feeling when you realize that. We're like, "Oh,
it's such a trip
wow."
too, because I used to babysit for a family, like, when I was in high school, and, like, they were, like, growing up and friends with their mom on Facebook. I'm like, "Oh my gosh,"
Yeah.
they're, like, pretty much in college at this point, they're so old.
Oh my
But
god.
I was, like, scrolling through I don't know how, like, a throwback picture came up when they were the age that I babysat them, and dude, I'm not, like, crazy about kids, but I started
Right.
crying. I was like,
It's a weird
"Oh
feeling.
my god," like, when they were babies, like
Right, because, like, you're with them during that really formative time in their growth.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't like the little boy who has the cat I love that I post on Instagram a lot. I met him when he was 1, worked with him a little bit. I didn't have time to bond fully because then COVID hit. And
Yeah.
then during COVID, like at least like 8 months later, almost a year later, I started working with him again. He's 2. So I saw like the big jump in age.
Yeah.
And then I started seeing him every week from like spring until now almost. So I see him
Wow.
almost every Saturday. And like I see him grow, and then sometimes I don't see him for 3 weeks because like the dad's in the industry, so if he's not on a shoot, he's
Yeah.
home. Sometimes I go 3 weeks without seeing him, and
Oh,
I'm like, "Oh my god, you learned like 5 new words." And, "Oh my god, you're so
no.
tall." And it's like those moments are so crazy. And now his mom's pregnant having another baby, and so it's like I'm
Aw.
seeing like their family grow, and
Yeah,
it's like such a crazy feeling. But
totally.
yeah, I was just like, "Oh my god, like, she's not gonna remember me if we don't keep a friendship." And it's just, like, a weird thing because it's
I
like,
know.
like, you spend every day with them, and, like, I have, like, photos of her in my phone,
Yeah.
like, it's so crazy. But, every Christmas with, like, I started this last year. I say every Christmas, this will be the 2nd Christmas. With the kids that I really love, that I'm close to, I have photos of that maybe the parents haven't seen all of them. I
Oh,
always get a
cute.
photo book from Shutterfly made, and I give it to the parents to,
That's
like,
so
surprise them with photos.
sweet.
So I'm gonna do one for her.
Oh, you should. I
Mhm.
bet they would love it.
They live down the street from me, so, like, a relationship is really doable. I'm like, "I'm down to be her aunt. That's fine,
Yeah.
guys." Like, that and they like, the mom was sad, like, "Oh my god, it's your last day," and the husband's like, "No, we'll hire her for date night. It's fine." Like,
Aw,
I'm
that's
definitely still gonna
sweet.
see them. It's just, it's
Yeah.
but
I totally get that.
yeah, but point being, guys, if I remember my point, don't know if I do, I'm gonna have to stall.
You said you're not a career nanny.
Yeah, I'm not a career nanny, so, like, it's a different experience, but it's interesting, but I understand, like, the bond element, but, yeah, I've been going through, like, a lot of transitions with work. I interviewed for one family, accidentally interviewed for a second one, and now I have to decide between the 2, which is really weird, but
Oh, wow.
yeah, I can tell you more about that off air. I don't wanna bore everybody, but, throughout all of this, so, like, my job with the little one ended a week ago, and I had to go to Lowe's because 'cause I'm trying to fix a cat tree for Boog, because my mom gave us a cat tree, like a tiny one, and I never used it because she was finishing the other one. So, I lost the screw during our move to connect the stick to the base. So, I took it to Lowe's, try to find, like, a matching sort of thing that works, and I couldn't help it. I had to check the plant section. I wasn't looking. I've been not on an official plant ban, but I've just intentionally not been looking at the plant groups that sell things. I've been just scrolling past because I'm I'm not in like, I'm really losing control over my plants right now, and I've been talking about that for a few weeks, feeling a little overwhelmed and stressed, so I'm really trying to just cut back. I chopped the Travis pothos. I
Oh,
did
that's
it. I did
okay.
it. I
That's
gave it
good.
to Abel, my friend. His roommate was moving out, and his roommate had a huge pothos that was long like that, and Abel was sad that it was going away. So I gave him, and he has some cuttings of a pothos that he's trying to grow, so I gave him that long one to get him ahead of the game.
There you go.
And I am sort of what's the word? I was neglecting it for a bit, so it dropped a lot of leaves, so there was a big bald spot to cut at.
There you
So I
go.
was like, "You know what? I don't need it." And, like, even going in the bathroom, I have felt happier. I got rid of my staghorn ferns. To shout
Good.
out Path if you're listening. She's the one that got me the little, polka dot begonia. She's the one
Yeah.
that saved my rubber tree. She's just wonderful. I love her, and she came and picked up my staghorn ferns that were dying.
Nice.
So and then
Nice, nice,
yeah,
nice.
she's so
So you
nice.
go to Lowe's. Tell us about what you saw.
Yes. So I'm, like, not buying plants right now, but I have to check because 'cause I'm like, you never know with Lowe's, it gets crazy out there. So, I go into Lowe's and all us, like, instantly well, at first I see, like, fiddle figs. I'm like, "Whatever." The monsteras, they didn't really have any, I was surprised. But, nothing big. I, like, scan to the left a little bit, and where there was usually a big sea of big monsteras were smaller plants, alocasias.
Which is very for those listening in California,
Especially
our big box stores not so good. Like,
Mm-mm.
So that is really huge that you saw that.
Like, when Holly lived here, you would rarely see Hoya at Lowe's. There
Oh,
was
yeah,
Hoya,
never. Yeah, I would
Helix.
never see Hoya.
Cubic Helix, they had a ton. They
What?
had Holly, right next to the
Oh
Alocasia. They
my
had
god.
multiple types of Alocasia. Polly, they had I think it might have been either Alocasia or a Calathea, but, like, things I don't see at Lowe's or Home Depot.
And it wasn't just any Alocasia, right? It was the Maharani.
No, the black velvet.
Black velvet, sorry. Look at that.
Look compared to my head for
It
like,
looks so good. Like, so big,
huge.
so healthy.
With a new leaf coming in. Look at
That's a
that.
great specimen. That's really beautiful.
Check out the roots, Holly. I gotta get it out of there, but
Oh
roots,
my
Holly.
god. You need a concrete botanical pot for that.
Hello, Christmas is coming. It has, let's see if I can see a new growth point. Nothing that's birthed, but I see that it could be pregnant. Just really, like, beautiful red behind it. Look at that.
So pretty.
I have a love, you know, I have a tumultuous relationship with Alocasias. But my dream with Alocasia was like, you know what? I need to stop buying small ones, even though I love when they're little. But I kill them every time. My Maharani, I lost my last leaf. I just have the base now. So it's like
seedlings just are really tough, you know?
Right. So I was like, I've never owned an Alocasia with more than 2 leaves at once. This has
Wow.
5.
That's exciting. And they're all pretty healthy. They don't look like they're about to go.
They look good. And then there was another one because I was trying to decide what should I get. I got the prettiest one. The other ones, at Lowe's, plants are always ripped up,
Yes, yes.
One of them, though, what do they call it? What do they call it when they flower?
Inflorescence?
There was an inflorescence in one of them.
Nice.
It's a flower, right?
Yeah.
It looks like a syringe. I think they look like syringes, like when you, like, squeeze, like, eye drops.
Oh, yes. They're really not, like, showy flowers. They just kind of
fascinating, though. They had one that was, like, mature to the point where it was flowering.
That's really cool.
I thought about that one, but it had one less leaf. However, it was an inflorescence, but, like, I think I've seen Branaconda talk about them, and, like, inflorescence, people seem to, like, not like it. Like, the people consider it bad, right?
Well, it's mainly if you're not planning on, like, pollinating it, in most cases, it's better just to cut it off because the thought is that it's spending more energy making blooms where it could be producing leaves. So that's where that comes from. And the flowers aren't very pretty, so it's kind of like, like, who cares?
They're like little mushrooms, like skinny mushrooms.
Yeah.
How do you pollinate them? You literally have to, like, add pollen?
So I guess specifically with Alocasia, I don't know if it's the same, but I know with, like, Anthurium and Philodendron, it's like you can take, like, the pollen from a different one on, like, a makeup brush, and then you, like, put it on the little spadix or whatever it's called, You should look up.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so someone I follow on TikTok, what is her name? Oh man, she pollinates her aroids all the time. She's based in Texas. I'll have to look it up later, but
let me know later. And if you guys are curious, DM us and we'll let you know too.
Yes,
cool.
That's exciting. I'm so happy for you.
By the way, guys, with 15 with a decorative pot. That's crazy. Yeah. I posted it on a plant traders group that you're a part of on Facebook. That's local to LA. People were freaking out. I didn't realize that, like, they had been popping up because I haven't gone to Lowe's in a long time. And as I said, I'm not looking for plants right now.
Right.
So then I posted it. One woman was like, oh my God, yeah, I ordered. I guess she, like, ordered store pickup or delivery or something. She's like, yeah. I think it was delivery. I ordered delivery through the Northridge Lowe's. I ordered 2 of them because I was shocked that they had them in stock, and only 1 showed up because someone else beat me to the cart.
What the
hell? I was like, oh, there was only 4 left when I went.
That is crazy.
And there was space around them. Like, they must have had a lot.
Wow.
At one point.
So, is this the Burbank Lowe's?
Burbank Lowe's at Empire Center, for those of you who are local. If there's any left now, because that was Monday. But, like, whoa,
really cool. I mean, you never know. That kind of, makes you feel like positive about the future with big box stores in California,
Our not Food and Drug Administration, our agricultural department must be making changes or lightening up because
I hope so.
There's so much restrictions.
Yeah, they're such hard asses when it comes to agriculture and things like that.
I was shocked. So
it's like, okay, it's not a fruit tree, it's not citrus. Like, just let us
calm down.
Let us
Yeah.
have our Hoyas and our aeroids. Yeah,
I
because
was
here in
shocked.
Florida, I see a lot more range of, like, plants even in big box stores, so it's
Right.
pretty cool.
Yeah, it blows my mind. But yeah, so that was my really unexpected find. I've always wanted this alocasia. So I'm happy, guys.
And you
It's
got a
been
good
good.
one. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, it's been good. Just been hanging out.
Nice. Well,
Well,
cool.
you guys, Holly had this wonderful idea for an episode today, and pending it goes well, I think this might be a more not consistent, but like every so often, like maybe monthly occurrence or something, or
Yeah.
every few months, whatever. Tell them what your idea was, Holly. Something we wanted to
Yeah.
implement into the show.
So I was thinking it would be really cool and beneficial to once a month do some sort of more lifestyle episode. So that is what you guys are listening to today. And
Right.
usually going to range from, like Angelique said, if it goes well, things of lifestyle, I don't know, like pretty much
It's pretty
anything really.
open. Like,
Yeah.
how do we live? I guess is what it is.
Yes. And just other topics.
There, right.
Yeah. So today our topic is all things self-care. And I'm
Yay.
very excited about this because it's not going to be like, here's the like everything you need to do about self-care and these are like
Of
the
course.
proven tips and tricks. These are just like what's working for us at the moment.
And plants tie
So,
in.
yeah, and maybe you guys can, find something new that we do that's helpful.
Right, or connect with us in a different way too,
That
which
too.
is
Yes.
fun. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, so Holly approached me and she's like, "Let's do a self-care episode." And I was like, "I'm into that because I need more of that in my life for
For sure.
sure." So I'll let you take it away, Holly, and then maybe we can just like switch back and forth and just kind of open
Absolutely.
conversation. What
Yeah,
is when you hear so I wanna know from you, like, when you because I feel like the concept of self-care came up within the last, what, 8 years maybe?
I think
I
so.
didn't grow up knowing what the term like, there was no term
And it used to just
self-care.
mean bubble baths and masks and massages. Like that was the extent of what self-care
Right. It
was.
was like, "Oh, you primp and prime a little bit
And you
more than
pamper
usual."
yourself and yeah,
Yeah,
which of
it was
course
considered pampering is what it was. It was a treat.
it
It wasn't
was.
a daily thing.
And it still can be, but I think it's moved into so much more of like it's a necessity for our mental health. And
Daily thing.
yeah, so I actually prepared a quote that I thought would be kind of driving the episode.
Oh,
And
please.
yeah, it's actually from someone that I found on TikTok, and their at is we are not really strangers. So they have really cute and sweet content. But what it says
Right.
is neglecting yourself to take care of someone else may seem like an act of love, but giving from a place of emptiness only leads to resentment. Self-care is hardest to do when you need it most.
100%. Oh my god.
Yeah,
That hits heavy
it's
for
so true.
sure. Yeah.
That's
I'm
kind
so
of the
guilty.
theme.
Mhm.
So I just think like, self-care is so much more than like getting your nails done. Sometimes it's doing the
Totally.
dishes, sometimes it's throwing away a pizza box that's by your bedside table. Like,
Yes.
you know?
Sometimes it's literally like getting up and you like sleeping an extra 10 minutes and you made the bed.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
that's
so
crazy.
true. It's
Yeah.
little things. And I
Mhm.
think it is important to take away that guilt because like the quote was saying, if you are constantly putting everyone first, you're
Right.
gonna have nothing to give. There's the whole like if
100%.
your cup is empty, you're gonna have nothing, things like that.
Like,
So
you can't share your drink if your cup's empty.
that's it. Yeah.
Right. I made that up, but I think that's what you meant.
Yeah, exactly. You have to refill your cup anyways.
Right, exactly. Like, I'm so guilty of this sort of behavior. Like, that's why my time as an assistant was miserable. I feel like I could have
Yeah,
had a way better experience as an assistant when I was an assistant for 2 years in the industry
for
if
sure.
I understood boundaries.
Yes.
I feel like we're raised in this and I'm not someone trying to get into, like, the problems with capitalism. I'm not in the mood for that conversation, but, like, I feel like we are raised and maybe with the Gen Z and the younger generations, it'll be different, but I feel like we were raised to emulate our parents, and it's like, "No, you need to be a workhorse to
Yeah.
be successful in life, like, be ready to work forever."
It's
And
true.
yeah, and so with that comes, in my experience, being a yes man. Like,
Yeah.
you like, the boss says jump, and I would literally say, "How high?" all the time. And
oh, sorry, it's a motorcycle driving by. I'm sorry.
Like, Holly's tummy's rumbling. I was like, drinking. Oh God, what did I do now to the podcast?
No, you're good. It's just some asshole on a motorcycle. It's fine.
I can do, Holly.
That does remind me of another TikTok. It's like what guys think girls do when they like zoom on by in a loud car or bike, and they're like, "Whoa!" and she's taking off her bra. Like,
right?
We really think that we really are gonna act like.
I get so angry. I'm like, I don't think you're hot. I don't.
It's not sexy. It's not cool. It's
it's ugly. You definitely have a small dick. I don't want to see it. Like,
you need to focus on self-care and not not your motorcycle.
God, your motorcycle needs self-care. Like, stop it. Oh,
yes.
God, I cannot stand that.
Sorry, they interrupted you. Go ahead.
Thank you, rude man. How dare you? Okay, we know it's a dude, guys. We know it's a dude.
Absolutely. We're just gonna assume it's a heterosexual man.
White cis male.
Oh, okay. Continue.
Oh, man. Okay, so where was I?
You become a yes man.
Yes. The yes man. There we go. See, I'm already. But yeah, I think especially, and I feel like maybe this is like especially on women sort of thing. You start to literally just say yes because you want to impress. You want to show that you're a good worker and that you're worthy of equal pay, of getting raises, of moving up on the ladder, and
yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, no, I was gonna say I love what you said about boundaries because we're both millennials, so like growing up, I think there was never any talk of that. So it's like,
never.
My parents want to go here for the holidays and I guess we just have to do it. Or, I'm just saying like there are so many situations where it was just either not talked about or you're just assumed to just do what's always been the norm.
Right.
And I'm so glad to see that that's finally changing. And I think it's like for the better,
For sure, 100%, because it's what you said, like this idea of boundaries. Like my parent, I mean, I think there was always the idea of like, don't let people take advantage of you. But at the same time, it was like, if I mentioned to my dad, like even now, like, oh man, like this family wants to hire me, but I don't know, Dad, I'm not sure about it. Like they want to pay me under my rate, like less than what I charge. He's like, well, give it a shot, see how it goes. And I'm like, no, Dad, no. Like if they're not paying me $20 an hour, I'm not taking it.
Yeah.
Oh, honey. Okay. Well, as if I'm never going to get a job again. And it's
oh, yeah.
It's like, okay, Dad, maybe you accepted lower rates growing up.
Right.
That's what it sounds like. And because I think for him, it's like, oh my God, I might never have money if I don't do this. And I think I was like that at one point. Like my assistant job, guys, never do this. Yes, it was 2017, but that wasn't that long ago. I accepted $500 a month for a cajillion hours a month.
Yeah, that goes into a whole thing of like in LA, it's like that was sort of the standard, not standard money, but it's common where you're supposed to just take what you can get in an industry and you should just be happy to
and then go
your dues, be happy to be there. So
be happy to be there, grab my coffee, answer my emails, order on Amazon. So stupid. Yeah. So sorry, I went off on a tangent, guys, but I feel like that job would have been a way better experience if I had established boundaries, because because my boss, I was an assistant. It was like, oh, he needs something, he'll text me at 10 and 8. I never established boundaries of like, okay, I'm not going, like, you can text me, I'm not going to answer it.
Right.
And I would answer it is the problem. And I think it came with age, realizing I needed boundaries. And I know I've gotten better at it, but this all ties into self-care, because at that job, Holly, like I wasn't making enough money. Obviously, the cost did go up, like the price, my pay did go up, but my hours went up. Like it never equated to the amount of time I was putting in. I missed deadlines to get like Medi-Cal, to get health insurance. I would not be covered because I didn't to make a phone call.
Yeah, and that's so not right.
Should not happen. And those things affect your self-care because you don't shower as much. You don't worry about your face routine. You don't, you don't spend time with your partner and your friends and animals, and like all of that affects your well-being, you know?
It really does.
And it's like, for what? What are they doing for me now 3 years later?
Absolutely, and that so much brings me back to when I, was working in the industry, like,
Yeah.
so many hours, never had time to do anything, like and sleep was, like, really a thing too, like, you know, people talk about, like, your sleep hygiene. Yeah, there's
Right.
none of that when you're working on
Nothing,
set.
nothing.
So, I'm glad that you and I both have learned about self-care or are learning about
Yeah,
it. So,
it's
I
going
I put a few, little lists of things that I
Yeah,
find very
what do you like
helpful.
to do?
I think you did too, so we can
Yeah.
go ahead and, like, switch off and
Oh,
whatever.
yeah, definitely.
I think the first one I wanna talk about is so what I do is I wake up early or, like, on a good day, I will wake up early, and that is mainly because I have anxiety and guilt if I don't. So, what I've started to do is like, "Okay, well, fine then, like, then get up early, so now you're not allowed to be anxious," or, you know what I'm saying,
Right,
like
right, right, totally. You can be
but
productive.
and getting up early aside, I love to, journal, but specifically, like, I have a gratitude journal,
Oh,
and
nice.
I have written down exactly what I do, so you guys are getting the scoop. I think
Ooh.
this helps so much with, like, your mindset in the morning,
Right,
and it just really does set the tone of your day. It doesn't mean you're gonna have the perfect day, but what
right.
I do is I write down, like, the date, and then I write down what I'm grateful for. So I have 3 to 5 things of, like, things that I'm grateful for, and it should be things, like, you can really look at and think, "Wow, like, that is so awesome," or I'm so
Right,
grateful to have this or that." And you shouldn't rush it. It's supposed to be, like, for you, you know?
right, definitely.
Anyways, then I write down 3 to 5 affirmations. I'm a huge believer in affirmations, love
Yes.
it. And then after that, I have my to-do list. So, I think that that's really helpful, and that's one of my self-care things that I've learned, like, I will not miss it even if I'm, like, traveling because I feel so off if I don't do it. So, if I guess what
Right.
I'm more so trying to say, if you guys know that you have something that helps you in the morning, is to give yourself that time and, like, allow yourself to do
Really.
it.
I think doing it in the morning too is key because it starts your day on a good foot. I understand people that like to do it before bed because then it's like you're resting and making peace with the day. So I think there's benefits to
I do
both.
both, yeah.
Yeah, I think both are so important. And if nothing else, I feel like the morning is if you had to choose one, at least you
Yeah,
can start your day fresh, you know, and with
totally.
a positive mindset.
Yep.
Definitely. For me, I empathize with any of you guys that are notorious procrastinators. I'm in the same boat, and I think it's really hard to get past when you have built that habit for 27 years. And,
It
it's
is.
hard, but for me, like, I struggle with hormonal acne, just acne, period. I've had acne since I was, like, 11, and it's a nightmare, and, I, for the longest time, wasn't really doing a face routine. I was just like, when I shower, I cleanse. Oh, how so, I do like, I'm getting better, but, like, I have better things to do. So, I was like, "I don't really smell. I don't know. Don't be Lakunis me, guys." But, um, I'm definitely trying to be better because that alone is self-care, is, like, being clean,
Yeah.
big thing. But I, my cousin also, like, we're from the we got the similar genes. She also has struggles with acne, and she really leaned into to skincare.
That's awesome.
So a morning and night thing as well. I copied her regimen, made a few changes to like what works for my skin, and I'm struggling with remembering it at night. I need to just be better with like setting an alarm. And that's the thing, don't be afraid of alarms. They help.
Yeah.
So I'm
Could
like,
change the
listen to
sound.
them. Yes, change the sound and listen to them. Like I should have like a skincare sound for sure.
Yeah.
But, like, every day I take 5 minutes, and even though, like, it sounds like I don't have 5 minutes, that's how I act like I don't have 5 minutes, and it's like, "No, you
Right.
do."
Right.
You had the 5 extra minutes you slept, you didn't need to sleep. So I'm
Yeah.
just pushing myself to just get up 5 minutes earlier and have that face routine moment because 'cause I'm seeing it's like that's the thing, I think we don't people like me, for example, I feel like when we struggle with prioritizing self-care, it's just like, this is just what my life is, where it's at now, it's not gonna get better or worse, and it's like, but if you add a little self-care moment, and you stick to it for 2 weeks, because I feel like in 2 weeks you see change for sure. It's
Yes.
like you will be pleasantly surprised, and that only boosts, like, I don't know what levels in your body, but it makes you happier. Like when my face actually started clearing up, my face, like if you guys are watching now, I have a little bit of breakouts because I just finished my period, so like I'm gonna be weird.
Yeah.
But I used to be considerably worse like half a year ago even. And you know, it when I even though it was annoying at first, like, oh, I'm gonna go do this again.
Right.
I let 2-3 weeks pass and I was like, oh my God, my face is actually in way better shape than it ever was in a long time.
Yes.
And that boosts your confidence, and that self-care moment made you feel better inside. And
And a
it's like,
and a
yeah,
big part of it too is like if you can stick to a routine and
routines are grounding.
it really does actually give you self-confidence because you're keeping a promise to yourself. You know, I've heard a lot
100%.
of people say that. It's like a lot because I have often struggled with like self-confidence and like one of the biggest things is like if you tell yourself you're gonna get up at 6 a.m., get up at 6 a.m. because then you're believing that you're the kind of person that gets up and washes your face and does your skincare and it all becomes
True.
totally
100%. And it's hard, guys. Like I've been literally telling myself, you're gonna start getting up at 6:30 every day. Have I done it yet? No. Full disclosure. But it makes me feel bad inside. And I think it's what you're saying. It's like I told myself to do something, I made a promise and I didn't fulfill it. It's like when you make a promise to
yeah.
a friend. And
Yeah.
it's like, why do we feel like we can't let down our friend, but then we let down ourselves? Like it's
Yeah.
what Becca said. Like, don't talk to my friend like that. Like, don't
Yes.
treat your personal friend like you can't keep a promise, you know? And I think that really resonated with me when she said it. And I think it's so important because like it spreads to plants, it spreads to all the things in life that you care about, your pets, your partner, your
Yeah,
friends.
totally.
Yeah, I think that's so huge. So for me, I've really felt a boost of confidence and I've been really enjoying making that promise to myself of do your face. It's
That's
fine.
so awesome.
So that's been a really big one for me in 2021 specifically. Like that's when I really started committing to it. In fall 2020, like around this time, I bought everything and I just hoarded it
Nice.
in the
Yeah.
cabinet. And it wasn't until I think April where I was like, "No, you're doing this." And it's been
Awesome.
way better ever since.
That's amazing.
It's been
Aw.
good. Do you have
Ni
any other big steps that you really like for yourself?
I do. So, I have a few.
I wanna hear them. I need them.
Yeah. Well, okay, another tip that I have is to find a greens powder, and if you do you know what that is, Angelique?
Like
It's just like
matcha?
it can be like matcha, but
Oh, like
specifically
veggies.
yes.
Oh,
So
yes, yes,
it's
yes.
like a supplement
Okay.
and yeah, so what I found is you need to find a greens powder that tastes really good. And I just try to like really get into it and like it makes you feel really good. So the one that I use is by Ghost and it's the guava berry flavor. And it's so
Nice.
good. You just do 1 scoop, and you put it in some water. I try to get, like, a fun cup and a straw, and, yeah, like, I can actually tolerate it because 'cause I've tried so many greens powders, and it just does not taste good, and I just can't. It makes me nauseous. Like, it's
Yeah.
so gross, but this one's really good, so I think you guys would like that. Do you want me to keep going on, like, my
Yeah, but really quick with the green powder, like, how does it make you feel? Like, is it supposed to get you the veggies for the day if you're not good at eating veggies? That's the idea?
It is supposed to fill in the gap. So,
Nice.
it's really hard to get in the necessary amounts of like veggies and fruits that we're
Right,
supposed to
definitely.
be getting. So, like, even if you were to eat like veggies at every meal, there's still like a little gap. So, with this
Right.
one, it just really helps. And honestly, I'm so bad
Helps
at
with
like
your
having,
energy.
yes, and it helps with
Yeah.
energy, it helps with digestion. I just really like it. And, part
Yeah.
of it too is just with self care. I'm giving myself that time to drink my greens juice and it's important for me as taking care of myself. So it's just another like promise that I can keep to myself. Like I'm going to make sure I have this every day. And
You
so
can do
I
your gratitude journal while you're sipping. There
yes.
you go. Oh, I
Yeah.
love that moment. Yeah, so that's a part of your morning routine, I assume?
Yeah, I
Very
really like
cool.
it. Or I'll have it in the afternoon. It really doesn't matter as long as I
Have
just
it.
get it in somehow.
Very cool. Okay, awesome.
Yes. My next one
Tell me.
is Ed Milet's podcast. It is so good.
Ooh,
Like,
okay.
I love it. It's like, oh, that's all I have to say. Just look up Ed Mylett. He's so good. I feel like the reason I brought it up on a list too is because there are times when, because I love him, I love the Skinny Confidential.
Right.
And I know that listening to their podcast is going to do good for me and I'm going to learn and take in valuable things. But sometimes I don't wanna do it. It's almost like a
Right, I get
chore.
that.
I'm like, "Oh, I'm too tired, I can't." And not that they're not enjoyable to listen to, because they are. I really enjoy listening to them.
Right, right.
It's just like we said, when you need self-care the most, that's when it can be hard.
You're like, "No,
But
I just wanna listen to a comedy podcast and laugh and not think about my
yeah,
problems."
exactly, or
Right,
let me just
totally.
listen to music, like, if I'm on the treadmill, I'm like, "I'm just gonna listen to music." But I'm there for, like, almost an hour, I can totally get in this really beneficial podcast, so, yeah,
Right.
look him up, he's an entrepreneur, and, he coaches, like, a lot of famous people, and he's just really great, so I think you guys will like him a lot. He
Oh,
recently had Michael Strahan on his podcast.
very cool, yeah.
And, it was awesome because he was talking about, like, his busy schedule, and he's like, "So
Mhm.
how do you do it?" You know? And, like,
Yeah.
one of the things he mentioned, it's not so much about self-care, but I took it like self-care. He said, Michael said that he allows himself to just watch TV. And I think that's really cool and so down to earth to hear someone like Michael Strahan, like, so
Yeah.
successful to hear him say that because, that's what I've started to do too. Next on my list is I will just like allow myself to scroll on TikTok and enjoy it and look up things
Yeah.
that benefit me. And
It's not
yeah,
learning, it's just watching because it's funny or
watch it because it's
interesting.
funny. Or I'll watch, I know a lot of people like The Bachelorette. I love
Yeah,
90 Day Fiance. Like,
you do it.
you
You
know, I,
know Oh, go
yeah.
ahead.
No, no, you.
That ties into one of the other ones on my list. I love to read books, and I like, if you met me in middle school, 3 books a day is what it looked like for me. Like, I was reading
Oh,
a day. I was reading, like, 3 books at one time, usually. Like, I would switch
dang.
stories and things, and
So cool.
yeah, books were my life. Like, I didn't even have cable till I was, like, 16 years old, so I got PBS, Saturday cartoons, and books. Like, that's what I had. So I was a very big Bachelor viewer because I had ABC. So,
Mhm.
but, cable just wasn't a part of my life, and so I didn't have all the fun, random cool shows that my friends were watching, and books were a really big thing for me, and I read books consistently throughout high school, and in college, it went down a little bit. I would
'Cause you have
still
so
read.
many books to read when you're in college. You're like, "Oh my gosh," like,
And
you
you're,
don't have
like,
time for anything.
studying. Yeah, and you're, like, becoming your adult self and everything, and reading really went down for me to the point where I hadn't read a book in years. Like, it
Wow.
really took a left turn, and, thankfully, with COVID, not thankful for COVID, but, I so it got to the point where I only got to read a book if I was on a big trip, like a big vacation.
Yeah.
So it became like a vacation treat rather than an everyday thing. And with the dawning of social media and how big the internet's become and technology, if you think about it, guys, if you're not in a job where you have to literally write with your hands, I'm not kidding you. I realize that I will go God knows how long, days, sometimes long, without ever having to write something down.
Isn't that crazy?
And it's like sometimes trying to like write a lot, my hand it doesn't feel natural all the time. I have to like
Wow.
Of course, like, I know how to write, guys. Like, I can write, like, I'm literally storyboarding after this. Like,
You're, like, scribbling.
yeah, like, I can draw, I can write, like, I'm fine, but there's a moment where I'm like, "Man, this hurts," or, like,
So
it's
true, it's, like,
so
cramping, like,
exhausting.
your wrist is dying.
Right, but as a kid, you were used to it when you had to write so much, and it was like, wow, and I think like, that going with reading, like, getting practice with words and really taking in language and stuff, like, I didn't realize how much I needed that and how little I was getting it for a while, and then COVID hit, and we had a guest on the SIGF podcast who is the son of a playwright and an author, and he loved books, and he was talking about books he was reading, and I was like, "Oh my god, that sounds amazing," and I read a book during summer 2020, one book, and I think that was it, but
Wow.
then he talked about Mexican Gothic, which highly recommend, guys, it's a very good book, and I
Nice.
was like, "You know what? I clocked it in my mind," and then I went to the bookstore with my nanny kit, I saw it on the shelf, and I was like, buying it. So then
Nice.
that's a lie. I saw it on the shelf, priced it on Amazon, was like, it's $10 cheaper. I bought it on Amazon. That's what happened. I did go to a bookstore. I did not support local in that moment. But I read it and because I'm a fast reader. Like when I actually get into a book, I can binge within 1 to 3 days, depending on how much time I have.
Nice.
And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I posted about it on my Instagram. My friend's like, oh my God, like, did you get it in your book of the month box? And I was like, I don't know what that is. Wow. And then, so this is again, tying into self-care, guys. If you need like sort of escapism, like this whole idea of like just watching some TV, mindless TV, TikTok, Instagram, whatever. If you want to get into a good story, if you need some help, if like finding a book is overwhelming, there's a really great organization, company, whatever, called Book of the Month. And it's a subscription service. It's $10 a month and you get a book, a hardcover, gorgeous sort of book with like a cute blue box, like, it's in the mail. And then it comes with a cute bookmark every month.
You get to keep the book?
Yeah, it's yours.
Oh,
you're buying the book. And these are books that are like, sorry, I think I said 10. I think it's 10. If not, it's 15. But still, most of these books skew at least $27 a book. It tells you the actual price. As like they don't change like the pricing on it because it's like they're like probably getting them wholesale or something. But my friend was like, "Oh my God, you should join. Here's my referral code." I joined, and you get to like there's 5 books to choose from every month, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
They're like new books usually, or like pre-releases and things like that. And so I picked out The Lost Apothecary, also a really fun book that came out this year, guys. Read it in like 2 days.
Damn.
And I was like, I'm here for this. And then because you can add on books to your box, up to 3 books. I think you can get 3 books total in the mail per month, and you just pay for like, you know what? I think your monthly book is 15 and then add on books are 10.
Nice.
I think that's what it is. So I started like buying 3 books at a time, reading them within a month, and then be ready for my next batch. I only just recently fell behind, but what I did was, if you guys work full time or you just work a lot, but you get a break, even 15 to 20 minutes of a reading was changing my life. So I would take it to nannying, and the kid would have private time, like just like in her room for 30 minutes, and I would read. So even if I didn't have time at home, I made space in like my work day to read. Yeah. And now getting into a book, sometimes I'll opt for a book over my TV shows because like I want my eyes to relax.
I've done that too. And reading before bed is so good.
Love it.
So good.
It feels amazing. It really gets you tired, and your brain isn't stimulated in the same way because there's no screen. That's why like if you can handle it, I worry about like the trees and stuff, but I'm a proponent of like I don't want to read on an iPad. Like I really just because I want to eliminate the screen element for me.
Yeah.
Possible. I don't mind reading online. I've read books online before, but there's something magical about holding a book in your hand. It just feels so good. Pages. And that helped with my like mental health and self-care a ton. So for me, it's like my life is so go, go, go. And I feel like your life is the same a lot of the time. So it's like sometimes like for you, it's 90 Day Fiance. For me, sometimes it's like I just need to rest on the sofa, turn off my phone, and just get a chapter in.
That's so good.
Like, that alone helps so much.
It really does. I enjoy reading too. And are you on Goodreads?
I'm not, but I think I've scrolled it before, but I don't have an account because it can tell you about books and stuff, right?
Yes, and people can like comment and like I haven't a ton, but I would highly suggest it because I really like Kenzie Elizabeth. She is really big on, so she's a podcaster, but she's really big into books too.
Nice.
So I'll follow her there, and like I always listen to her suggestions, and she loves like thrillers. Like I love like oh my God, so good. So if you can find a person that you really trust their like recommendations, you can follow us. Yeah, so very cool.
That's cool. Oh, I love that. Yeah, so that's been really helpful for me.
Perfect. I think my last one that I really have, I did write down like get a skincare and like romanticize it and like get into that. I do just want to recommend, if you guys haven't used The Ordinary, it's a really good skincare product, super affordable.
I've heard it's good.
They have so many serums, but if you don't know where to start, get the buffet serum. It's so good.
Ooh. Yeah, I wanna look into new stuff because I get Dermalogica, which I love. Some of it's very expensive, so I wanna find some substitutes as
Yeah, this
well.
one's like $8, like, for, like, the smaller but it lasts a long time, so I think you guys will like that.
It's worth it.
But let me see, this is my last thing I have on here, and
Awesome.
it is doing your nails, but, like, make it an event. So what I mean by that is, like, I love so here's my nails, you guys can see.
Love them. That's such a gorgeous color.
It's like all fall. I love doing my nails so much, but and I've kind of made it somewhat of an extensive process as far as like the steps go, but it's really not that bad.
Yeah.
But what I do is I'll listen to a podcast, but usually for me it's like a true crime podcast. It's just like so much fun. And then if I don't feel like doing that, I'll just listen to music, light a candle or oils. And then just take your time. And also I won't do any work or talk to anyone if I'm doing
I love that. That's your you time.
It's boundaries. It's taking the time for yourself. So
like Tyson knows, don't bother her.
It's not that bad, but like we both love our like alone time, and it's just like I think it's important as like here's some marriage advice. It's important in like in a relationship, you know.
You need to have you time, 100%. Yeah, definitely.
I love it. So I hope that these were good tips for you guys. I hope that you can take something away from it and maybe find a new routine of some sort.
Definitely. I think these are helpful. I think too, of course, I'm sure some of you guys are screaming, what about taking care of your plants? That's self-care.
Right.
And it is to an extent. I think for me, the feeling of like if I'm stressed, but I need to repot something and I'm like, I have time to, because sometimes if I don't have time, I get stressed thinking I have to repot something.
Yes.
But if I have time, it's just lay out the tarp and just like getting into a chunky mix. I think when you're stressed, doing something with your hands is very useful. So I think plants are really good for that in that sense. So I think if that is what you need for self-care, getting into some soil is amazing. But to me, it's like the self-care that's more lifestyle. I think it's like what you were saying, skincare, getting into like a good show or a book, that sort of thing. But of course, guys, plants are always a big one too.
For sure. It really is. It's one of those things where it's like, as long as it's serving you, like, and not hurting anybody else, do it, you know?
100%. Totally. I feel that.
Yeah.
Well, Holly, where can people find you?
So you guys can find me at Concrete Botanical _ on Instagram, at Concrete Botanical on TikTok, and then shop Concrete Botanical and concretebotanical.com, where you can buy all of the terrazzo goodness.
Awesome. And you guys can catch me at Sucka for Plantas with 2 C's. You can also catch the podcast at Boozy Botanical Podcast on Instagram. We drop new episodes every Tuesday on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and YouTube for video. Also, you can email us at boozybotanicalpodcast@gmail.com. Any questions, if you want to chat, you can also DM us.
Yes, please.
And please, if you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a 5-star rate and review on Apple Podcasts because it really helps us out. We've been seeing you guys do your work, and we love it. And thank you so much.
Yes, thank you guys so much. I hope you've had an amazing time listening to us.
Yes, we try.
And until next time.
Until next time, guys. Cheers.